Hey everybody, Greg here from Physio. I'm back today because I just got off the water and had a great practice getting ready for the second edition of the 70-48. It's a 70-mile race. Last year, got third out of 150 boats, and this year, trying to get up those last two spots at the top of the podium. Now, there are 5 tips to winning a gold medal that I've been following myself and I've been teaching other people for quite a while, and they've been successful, and I want to share them with you right now. So, tip number 1, know your why. Know why you're getting up in the morning, getting to the boathouse, or going after work, working your tail off in and out of the boat to achieve greatness. Do you think you can just grind it out and achieve the success that you want? It doesn't quite work like that, okay? What you need to try and do is establish your vision. Figure out what that overarching goal is, and then in order to achieve that vision, you need to break the steps down into what I call SMART goals, okay? Goals that you can try to achieve along the way, so that way you can get your maximum vision, get that gold medal. Now, the SMART goals, we'll talk about these more in depth on another episode. However, let's review them briefly. SMART goals, S-M-A-R-T. Goals are going to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. And so what you're doing by creating those SMART goals is you can be very specific about the distance you want to cover, the time you want to cover it in. It's going to be within an achievable boundary based on your current training cycle, and you're giving yourself a very specific amount of time in order to meet those goals. And if you have problems achieving that goal, well, you can always go back and reassess. And with any vision, you're trying to create that strategic plan to get you there to your gold medal. Tip number 2, you want to make your warm-up anything but rowing. So you are about to go out on the water or sit down on the erg and perform a repetitive task. And so you're subjecting all of your muscles, all of your ligaments and your discs to this repeated strain over and over and over again. And the best way to ensure that you're going to come out of this feeling happier, feeling healthier, feeling stronger, is to actually stay off the erg until you're about ready to get going. And so here's what I mean. When you first show up, go for a light jog or maybe a walk. And that impact, especially in the morning, gives you a chance to take your lumbar discs, which have kind of swollen up a bit at night, and it gets them back down and recompressed to the optimum compression. And then what you also get to do is you get your blood flowing. It'll warm up your body, much like you warm up an engine during the winter. And then you follow up with a dynamic warm-up, something that you can do like the Physio Gold Medal warm-up, that will move you in all 3 planes of motion for the sole extent of making your body tip-top, ready to rock, so that way, as the moment you get in the boat, you are ready to achieve and you are ready to fly. Because oftentimes what happens and what we see is that if somebody doesn't make the time for a proper warm-up, as soon as they get in the boat and they get moving again, then they're spending an extra 15 to 20 minutes on the water doing the rowing stroke to warm up. And really, that's wasted and lost time when you are trying to work on getting fast. So if you've done your jog, if you've done your dynamic warm-up and you have a little bit more time, hop on the erg, really start to elevate your heart rate and get some good oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange in through your lungs. And at that point, you are going to be ready to rock and head to the water. Let's talk about tip number 3. Tip number 3 is all about emphasizing your hip mobility and your ankle mobility. Because when you come up to the catch, you're compressing your body and you are creating what should be your strongest, most efficient position so you can drop the blade in the water and apply power. Exert force. And if you can't get full compression, especially comfortably, what's going to happen is you're going to make compensations. You may flare your knees out a bit much. You may dip your back and try and overextend. If you are in a sweep boat, you may overextend a shoulder and drop it down too much. And in that effort to try and achieve extra speed and extra length, what you're actually doing is you're setting yourself up to take that repetitive strain of rowing and tire out your muscles and cause a strain or a sprain of your back muscles or your discs, and that can throw your whole training plan completely off. Now, in another video, You and I together, we work on ways to improve that hip mobility and improve that ankle mobility, and that's something that you can do on a daily basis that will make incredible gains. So that way, as you come up to the catch, you get your full compression. You don't have to work to be there. All you have to do is emphasize where the blade is going to go in the water. Which brings us to tip number 4. Emphasize and focus on your fundamentals every practice. So let me put it to you this way. When was the last time that you got on YouTube and watched World Championship races or the finals of the Olympics, and you see these boats just cranking it through the last 500 or even the last 250 meters to try and see who is going to win gold? And I tell you what, the winner is not often the hardest working boat. The winner is the boat that has actually done all of the work leading up to that on their fundamentals. Because victories don't come with sloppy rowing. Victories come with clean rowing. And if you practice those fundamentals enough on a daily basis, then it becomes such a rote part of your muscle memory that when you are at your most fatigued state, you can always tap into that resource to clean up your rowing, which is going to make for faster rowing. So whether you do it as part of your initial warm-up, or if you bookend it at the end as you're getting ready to come in when you're fatigued, or maybe in between pieces, you have a golden opportunity to work on catch placement, a golden opportunity to work on handle heights. Anything related to rowing cleaner and rowing smoother, take advantage of it on a daily basis. And the last tip is tip number 5, which is about failing every week. And you may be thinking, wait a second, hold on a second. I'm trying to win. Why do you want me to fail? Here's the reason why. The entire reason why you fail is so that way you can understand what is your capacity, what is your breaking point. Now, I'm not talking about failing through an entire practice where you have, so let's say you're on the rowing machine and you have 10 by 500 meters with a minute and a half rest. Well, I don't want you to go and bust it for the whole 10 pieces of 500 meters because that's just going to totally break you, and we don't need that. However, it's an opportunity to check in and gauge what your true capacity is. It's an opportunity for you to understand just how deep you can dig into the well when you are at your most fatigued, when you're right in the middle of your race, whether it is a sprint 2K or a fall head race. Because without that knowledge, how do you know how much to give? How do you know if you are redlining the entire way, if not overdoing it and potentially failing when you don't want to fail, and that's in the race? So take this opportunity every single week, pick a practice, pick one piece out of that practice, and push your maximum. Figure out what your upper limit is. Try and break through it. And here's what you're going to find out. You may find that as you try and push to find that peak, what you thought was your limit actually may be the threshold for a whole other boundary that you can push toward. Those top 5 tips to win a gold medal, they are tried and true. They've been used by my athletes and myself, and I think they're going to work for you as well. Now, you may have some of your own strategies that you've used in the past for gold medal success. I would love to hear about them. Please share them in the comments below. If you are in need of some extra assistance to actually help craft a strategy for yourself, please contact me. I'd love to hear from you and have a conversation. You can get a hold of me through the website linked below, or give me a call or shoot me a text, 619-363-2227. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and in the meantime, keep working and building off those top 5 tips.